Okay, Aston Villa obviously have to replace Steve Bruce as manager. Now they've got to find the right guy. Now I'm going to use an example from last season, which was Everton, and the way that they sacked Ronald Koeman and they brought in Sam Allardyce via David Unsworth being a long-term interim caretaker manager for a couple of months, which wasn't the best solution. That whole situation at Everton last year was a mess. Their European campaign collapsed. Their managerial replacement took too long and there was indecisiveness. And their form and their league finishing position suffered as a result. Now, they were aiming for European football last season. Aston Villa are aiming for Premier League football this season. So there are some similar objectives, but they're different. Now, the Championship is a very hard grafting league. There's more games to play than the Premier League because there's more teams involved in the Championship. It's a cutthroat league. There's no prisoners in the Championship. There's no place to hide in the Championship. The issue that Aston Villa have is they have to get promoted now. They can't just build for a couple of seasons and get some momentum going. They have to do it now. And there's clubs around them in the table, above them and below them, who seem to be a bit better suited to possibly make that promotion run. There's some teams that have been promoted this season that are having good runs, like my team Blackburn, on the edge of the playoff places, but it's very congested from the playoff places to about 16, 17. There's only a couple of points separating some of these clubs. Defensively, Aston Villa have some frailties. With John Terry not renewing his contract in the summer, that's left a hole in their defence and leadership. Yes, they kept Jack Grealish on a long-term deal. Whether he actually stays long-term is another thing, and that's where getting the right manager in can be important. Because obviously Steve Bruce, behind the scenes, realised Jack Grealish is crucial to this club and got him to sign long-term. Because Jack Grealish can get game time at Aston Villa, a lot of games under his belt. But if he went to a Premier League club, would he be on the bench a lot? Would he be a peripheral figure? It's debatable. So, Steve Bruce is now gone. So what does that mean to Jack Grealish? Is he going to be concerned whoever comes in doesn't want to play him? Or may not want him in as part of the plan going forward? That's crucial. The amount of time and effort they spent on Jack Grealish getting him to sign was a positive move, but also could be he's on the way out. So we'll have to see. Now, the name being bandied around as replacement for Steve Bruce is Thierry Henry. Now, Thierry Henry has spent most of the last couple of years with the Belgian national side as an assistant to Roberto Martinez, and has done a very, very good job. That managerial setup has done a very good job in Belgium, and they got them close to the World Cup. They got to the semi-finals and ultimately came up slightly short. They were the third best team in the world this summer, so they came up a little bit short, but they got close. And they've got a style of football which is very free-flowing, attacking football. Even the defenders bomb forward, and that's an issue for Aston Villa because Aston Villa are frail in defence to a point. With that style of football, if Thierry Henry is to come in and be the man, obviously he's learned from Roberto Martinez and would be sort of from the same tactical school as Roberto Martinez, where you want a free-flowing attack, but that leaves the defence very open. And we've seen with Martinez sides that if they're having a bad day and they still want to play their attacking football, they're going to concede. They're going to be a sieve. We've seen it with Everton. We've seen it with that when they have a bad day, they lose heavily. And that is a criticism of Martinez's game. Is defensively not enough is put on defence. Now, also another issue is Thierry Henry has been involved with the international scene rather than the club scene. So he's not used to a 9-month season picking a team week in, week out. He's used to international camp, international break. You get your squad together for a couple of weeks, and you lose them again. Get back for a couple of weeks, and you lose them again, and then you get back for a few more weeks, and then you lose them again. And occasionally, a tournament comes along, and you get them for a period of time for a month or so, then you lose them again. So there's a lot more scouting involved. So scouting could be a positive because you can obviously then scout players saying, "I scouted this player when I was, Belgian assistant for an opposition or for the Belgian squad. Let's get him signed to Aston Villa." So he's scouting nous, which he's had to use as an assistant to Martinez, going to games and seeing the opposition and the players he's allowed to select will go in his favour. But the concern is he hasn't been involved in the league grind for a very, very long time. But it is a trend going for these inexperienced young managers. Look at Gerrard and Lampard doing really well at Derby and Rangers. You've got to look. That isn't a going trend at the moment. It's going for young ex-pros who've recently retired from the game, new to management, and get them in. Now, Thierry Henry has his coaching badges, so that's not a problem. He's been out of the playing side of it for a little bit longer, and he's actually been involved as an assistant coach. So he's got that little bit of assistant now. Is he ready, though, for the step up to take on a club of Villa's size and with the objectives they have, which is getting back into the Premier League from a league that is notoriously difficult to get out of in promotion relegation. So it's going to be throwing him to the wolves a little bit here, because it's a very competitive league, it's a cutthroat league, it's a physical style of play, so he's got to adapt his tactics that he would have learned from Martinez in international football to the Championship style of game. Will it work? Will that be enough to get into that Premier League level, and will it be enough to keep him in the Premier League, hypothetically? But there we go, he's the favourite to replace. Here's the concerns I have. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, because it could be a no risk, no reward, right? But his lack of managerial experience at the top level in club football. I know it's a trend, but in Aston Villa's position, is he the right guy? Derby County, Frank Lampard seems to be a good fit. Rangers, Gerrard seems to be a good fit. But Villa, Thierry Henry with the off-field stuff. Gerrard was a bigger risk, I think, than Lampard, but they were both risks as well. They could have failed. Is Thierry Henry the right guy coming? Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much for watching. Please place your thoughts below if you are a Villa fan or just a football fan in general. If you follow Thierry Henry's career, are you a fan of Thierry Henry? I want to hear your thoughts. And we'll see what happens. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your thoughts below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.